All right, guys, welcome to FGFM. This is the Radiocast portion of our channel. This is basically the one time we get to kind of sit down and have a discussion, kind of a coffee table talk, if you will. Our initial one, we're kind of doing introductions and giving a little bit more background into who we are and kind of where we got the idea for FGTV. My name is Devin Bowers, also known as Flashbarricade, and I'm here with Jonathan Rentas, also known as Dukestarfighter.
That is right. We are here, we are live, and we're going to be talking about a couple of different topics. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and lead it off, man? Let's get into it.
Yeah, it was something that just kind of was in the back of our mind initially, and between the two of us, between John and I, we were both really big into weightlifting, and we were big into video games, and at the time we were kind of really interested in fusing the two, or at least accepting the fact that both of us had interests from one or the other, whether it was gaming or fitness. But we always kind of felt that we had to push one aside. Either we were gaming all night long, or we were waking up early and going to the gym, or trying to make time for that. And FGTV was originally kind of born through that premise. You know, we wanted to break down the barriers between the jock and the nerd, and kind of give people more of a perspective of, you know, you can live a life with both aspects and enjoy life with both aspects. And so I think originally back in 2017, John and I had this idea of, you know, kind of playing around with, you know, starting our own kind of like fitness channel, but more so not necessarily focused around gaming, but with some of the underlying themes. I know between John and I, we have a lot of love for comic books and film and video games and things like that. And so at the time we were joking around with a couple names, and, you know, nothing was really sticking. And it was one of those things, one of those ideas that we kind of just put back onto a shelf. And it wasn't up until recently that we kind of got this little spark and a little fire to just, you know, make a push. And, you know, it was one of those moments of just like a why not scenario.
Right.
So we initially came out with the challenge card video, which is like our bread and butter, you know, kind of bringing together the two realms of fitness and gaming. But I think more than anything, FGTV is just kind of a coming together of communities to kind of form this ultra mega community of people who love gaming, love, you know, we have a place in our hearts for the old 80s films and things like that. And, you know, comic books, cosplay, really bringing those into the limelight alongside of fitness. That's really what the goal is here, is just to get people inspired and get people moving who may not think there's much of a community for them if they're in one or the other. You know, a lot of people that are in the fitness world see video games and see gamers as kind of like the lazy end of the stick, you know, and it's a vice versa thing. You know, on the other side of the fence, gamers are looking at people in the fitness world as, you know, meatheads or people that are on steroids. But we really just wanted to bridge that gap and just say, hey, you know, we're gamers and we love lifting weights, and you know, we just want to open up that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the one thing that we're focused on, and I think that a lot of it has to do with, you know, when we go for something, we go for it all the way. And, you know, there's so many different aspects of life that I think people dive into. And I think it's important that people understand that it's okay to have both. It's okay to be good at both, or to want to have both. You know, if you're a gamer and you want to, you know, not just work on your gaming skills or just escape into gaming, but you also want to have a better healthy lifestyle, or, you know, you want to be able to do things outside of gaming, you can do that. You know, you can make time for that. And vice versa, if you're really into fitness, but you kind of want to dive into a game, it doesn't matter what game it is. It could be, you know, an RPG, an action game, fighting game, whatever. There's lots of different avenues that, you know, you can take to experience that journey. Sometimes a game in itself is a journey, and so is working out. You know, it's one's personal journey to sculpt, you know, things with their body that they're not accustomed to, that they didn't think that they were able to do.
Sure.
And I think having those conversations with other like-minded individuals will really open up yourself to new experiences, will allow you to see that there's just this wide array of people out there, who are in different levels of fitness and different levels of gaming, and they enjoy just as much as anybody else. And I think if you were to reach out and to cultivate that community, you'd be surprised at the different types of people that you meet, and you'd be surprised at yourself at what your actions can do for somebody else. For somebody who's been gaming for a long time and kind of wanted to see, can they be healthier? Can they exercise more? You'd be surprised if that person that inspires that person is you. And I think that's really what it's all about. It's kind of sharing those passions and sharing those ideas and really, bringing it all together, if you
And
will.
in the same token, with FGTV, it's we really want to generate a starting point, like a lift-off point for people to be inspired, be motivated. I remember when I first started out, I didn't really have any clue, and I didn't want to pay X, Y, and Z for some sort of, the dime a dozen 90-day abs or anything like that. I wasn't ready to go
Right.
down that avenue. And so it really just took research, and it took time, and really just kind of honing in on what I wanted to do. And initially it all started with a goal. Brad Pitt, Fight Club body, and that ended up transitioning into I wanted to fill out a medium-sized shirt, and then the goals just improved from there. And so many people think, well, I want a summer body, or I want to have sculpted abs, or I want to lose weight. And while those are all absolutely wonderful goals, I think even going as with more of a simplistic look and saying, oh yeah, I want to fill out a medium-sized shirt or something of that nature, those things, everything around those things will fall into place. And we really just want to give the opportunity for people to have a safe harbor that is not $1 million body that's being sold to you on Instagram. That's not these people that are already 100% fit and living that lifestyle, because they're selling sponsorships and they're selling workout routines and things like that. We want to just give a community to individuals that are interested in weightlifting and doing better for themselves, being a little bit more of a better version of themselves than they thought they could be. We're not trying
Absolutely.
to pump out another Arnold Schwarzenegger, if that's what you're inspired by, like John and I both are. We love the aspect of bodybuilding and weightlifting, but if that's not your forte, at least there's a community here, especially as a gamer or cosplayer or, somebody that may be on the other side of that fence. Between John and I, we're both here to answer those questions and have, just a general discussion. I think that was the big thing with FGTV, is we just wanted to reach out to people. We wanted to reach out, and we didn't want to start selling training programs. We wanted to have conversations. We wanted to hear people's stories. And I know, in our clan through Destiny 2, and even just our friends online in general, we have a fantastic time. And we have a really fun time.
Absolutely.
We have a wonderful time. And half of these people we met online. One of our good friends who is a major role in the clan and is also a major role of FGTV. I've never met the man, but I'm invited to his wedding. And I think the relationships that we build through video games is what is so phenomenal. And especially on the other end of the spectrum, people in fitness build fantastic relationships. But there's always just kind of that disconnect where you might be, a gamer that just wants to kind of shut out the world, or you might be a fitness guy that thinks gaming is a waste of time. And we really just want to have that conversation. One of the biggest things right now, if you guys have the opportunity to check it out, is on Amazon Prime. There's a movie right now called Quest of the Muscle Nerd. It's a really great documentary about this guy who he was just constantly inspired by the bodies and the individuals that were comic book, superheroes. And he wanted to create a bodybuilding competition that was focused around cosplay. And I was mind blown when I saw the film. It was really giving people an alternative avenue, who thought they may not have had one, and the tickets for the competitors completely sold out. The tickets are already on sale for this year. I'm competing in the show. I never thought I would go down this direction, but when I was younger, it was like I used to go to Anime Expo. I used to cosplay and do these fun things, and I love costuming. And so I was like, why not? Why not, breach into something that is, new territory? And I think that's kind of where
Absolutely.
we're going with FGTV. Is like, look, we want to generate things that, like the challenge card videos. There's something for you to try. There's something for you to challenge yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be workouts on the channel that are just there for your convenience and for you guys to be interested in, to learn the motions and to learn the movements and to be getting up and getting out and getting inspired. Sometimes,
Right.
I mean, John and I talked about this the other night, that one of the greatest quotes I ever came across in my life was just blow your own damn mind every once in a while. Just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
push forward. Push forward. Be consistent. Sometimes consistency can be hard. Even for me, somebody who's been in the fitness world for 10 years now, consistency can be hard. Eating healthy can be hard. Making sure that you're constantly pushing yourself in the gym can be really tough. Sometimes there's those mornings you just don't want to wake up. Even for John, he's got a lot going on and, still finds time now. I mean, he's reconnecting with himself in the gym and his body, and he's doing a fantastic job, of retuning and re-enjoying the process all over again. I think that's one of the most beautiful things, is realizing how fun of a process it can be. Just getting back in the gym and getting moving and feeling fantastic. I mean, you text me the other day. You had just come out of the gym. You were feeling it. You were telling me you had the most amazing
absolutely.
pump, Yeah, we were having a great time.
Absolutely. Well, it's just funny because, you just have your days, where you're there because, you have to be there. Because that the end goal is not something that can be attained in a matter of days. It takes weeks, months, sometimes it takes years, just depending on, how busy your schedule is and how dedicated to the gym you are. But on that particular day, yeah, I just felt like, man, this is how I want to feel when I exercise. And aesthetics aside, like you definitely want to feel good when you go in and you work out. You don't have to put up the biggest weights. You don't have to do the craziest sets to be proficient at what you're doing. It just has to feel good. And if it feels good, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong.
Absolutely. When I first got into it, I dabbled with weightlifting in high school, and it never really stuck with me until later in life. And it really
Right.
took me, God, I used to have 17 plus pre-orders and 10 different game consoles under the sun. It got to a point where I wanted to see other things for me. Not that video games were generating something wrong or something off, but I was inspired by other things. I was inspired by the superheroes I had growing up, and I was inspired by the comic books and the movies, and I just wanted to see something better. And when I first started out, it was I went down the P90X route. I wasn't ready to hop into a gym. I wasn't ready to get a gym membership and try to be consistent with that. I didn't know what I was doing. Once I started to evolve out of P90X, it was like, okay, I'm starting to lift heavier and heavier weights, and I'm feeling pretty good, but I want something more. And so I'll never forget, I really appreciated the aesthetic that Chris Hemsworth brought to Thor in the original Thor, the first Thor.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that aesthetic. And so that was something that I wanted to go for after the Brad Pitt bod and, filling out the medium-sized shirt. I wanted to do something more. And so I just, did research. Chris Hemsworth Thor workout, Thor diet and things of that nature. And it was...
Yeah.
I just kept pushing with the knowledge that I had
I
there.
did the same thing.
Yeah,
Funny.
I realized that, okay, what I'm doing at home isn't enough for what I need, and I need to level up, and I need to go in the gym and push harder. And it was super uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you just get into a groove, and it's fantastic. And the type of conversations that between John and I that we're having now, through the Radiocast, those are the kind of stories that we want. That's the kind of community that we want to build. We want to hear people, who have either been in it for 5+ years or who are getting started. And this is the first time hearing the Radiocast, first time becoming a part of FGTV, and saying, you know what, like, I kind of want to get in the gym right now. Go and kick ass in the gym, come home and raid, like, why not? But really, at the bottom end of it, we're not here to prescribe any supplements. We're not here to, write out a dietary nutritional plan for you. We're not here to, sell you a workout or sell you 90-day abs. We're really just here to generate that community and show us the workouts that worked for us. Show us, like with the challenge cards, we're doing these challenge card videos as something that's additional to the initial workout. And I mean, that challenge card that I did initially was really freaking hard. I mean, after that entire after doing that whole workout, I was beat. And then adding the challenge card to that at the end was just like, it
looked tough.
The cream of the crop, man. But I had a great time, and I think that's tough. Really, at the end of it, we just want to have fun. We want to have fun and have fun with the people who want to get involved and be a part of it. We're very much interested in the feedback too. Whatever you guys think would be fun for the challenges, we're going to be hosting, the challenge cards, and you guys get to vote on those games eventually, and be a part of that process. And feel free, be proactive in the comment section. Let us know what we could be doing different, what we can be doing better. This is a first for us, so we're really trying to, we're getting better at the whole video editing thing. I will admit that I haven't touched video editing since I was probably in high school, maybe even in college. I had a little bit, but we're completely fresh, at doing a lot of this stuff. And thankfully, we have people in our circles who are wonderful at this type of stuff in video editing and sound editing and things like that. But we're starting out slow, and we're making sure that we are doing our best to kind of develop quality content that we can get to you guys. But that's kind of the cadence of these things, the challenge cards, the radiocasts. Eventually we're going to, breach into other forms of video content, the workout videos and things like that, kind of break down things that might work best for you, things like places to start, leaping points, if you will. If you're a new timer and you're trying to get into the gym, or if you're a new timer and want to start at home. I know John, he loves, he's got kids. He loves doing workouts at home when he needs to, obviously, but in between, what was it you were talking about, like with loading screens?
Yeah, so like one of the things I was, it's funny that you brought that up, because I was sharing that with somebody recently. They were talking about getting back into it and whatnot, and I thought to myself, I was like, why don't you try, in between loading screens, knock out a few push-ups, do a couple of planks, or do a couple of seconds of planks, or just do some kind of movement exercise. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'm not asking guys to do a drill or some kind of like a high intensity workout by any means, but if you get off the couch, you get off the chair, you just knock out a few push-ups, just to get the blood moving, just to get the the blood flowing. You'd be surprised at all those laps in time when you're not engaged into the game, that you can do some kind of a workout, you can do some type of movement that could really promote just good blood flow, good movement. And you do that as as often as you would, and your body's gonna adapt, your body's gonna change. It's little things like that can really go a long way. It's like hearing people say, I do 100 push-ups a day, and for some people it works. Some people, they wake up, they do 100 push-ups, but you got to find the time that works best for you. As a father, I find the time when I have my children with me and when I don't have my children with me. And it's my motivation. They are my motivation. So you just got to find the thing that motivates you to do it, and you do it. And it's a good time. You make it fun. It doesn't have to be, anything over the top per se. You just do it and you have a good time with it. And if you feel good, then you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
you really can't go wrong.
Everything else just kind of fits. Well, it was what was
Yeah.
it that I said earlier? It's that Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Jingle All the Way. Why do I need the Turbo Man doll when I have Turbo Man at home? It was that was
Yeah.
kind of one of those things where I wanted to stop. I know for me, I wanted to stop looking outwardly for the things that I wished I could be, or that I wished I could do. And it was one of those things where it was like, no, I want to go out and get these things. I want to be a superhero. One of the biggest scenes for me growing up was when I was watching Predator, and I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger lift the truck off of the logs and push it, into the camp. And I'll never forget just, oh my, like, I want to be able to lift a truck someday. Like that was just, and it was just
Imagine
something,
that, yeah.
that sat in the back of my head. It was just something that was there, and I was inspired by it. And, I reflect back on that too. I'm in the gym and I'm weightlifting, and it's like, you have almost, it's weird when you're weightlifting and you're putting in your time and you're really pushing hard in the gym. You almost have these weird flashbacks almost to the things that inspired you in childhood, because those things kind of come through a little bit when you're in the gym. I can push these weights, I can lift a truck, I can do this, I can do that. It's just bringing those inspirations forward and utilizing something with them is really kind of what we're about. Sometimes you have to inspire yourself. Sometimes it has to be something that you see out of yourself, something that you want to push harder for. Especially in my youth, Dragon Ball Z was a major thing. Dragon Ball Z was huge for me growing up, and that was always a constant. The characters in that show were just constantly pushing themselves to do better.
Right.
And so that was one thing, I wanted to do better for myself in life. I wanted to do better, not just in the gym, but for my body and for the people around me, my friends, my loved ones, and I also wanted to hold on to video games. I wanted to continue to play video games because it's really just I can't explain it, man. I can't explain how video games touch me, but they really just dig deep down in my soul, mean the world to me. I don't play as many games as I used to anymore, but it's I attribute it to like coming home and having a beer. It's like that level
Yeah.
of unwinding for me. And so
It definitely can be. It
yeah,
almost plays almost like an escape in an interesting way, like playing like these avatars, just diving into a world that is unlike our own, but also familiar to our own, and just playing the games the way we want to play them, creating these stories or living these stories the way we would if we were in that world. That's the way I look at it too. It is just like coming home and having a beer. It's like taking a load off. You just come home, you take off your shoes, you relax.
yeah.
It's a great feeling.
And it's like, I think one of the greatest comparisons could be like Ready Player One,
Oh yeah,
where it's just, you have this
phenomenal
fantastic,
movie.
yeah, I love the movie, I love the book. I love the fantastic community that they had and the relationships that they had, but at the same time, they were like, you know what, the Oasis is closed on Thursdays, and in a small way, that's kind of what FGTV is. We're closing the
Yeah,
Oasis on Thursdays, and on Thursdays we lift.
yeah,
But we really want to be able to sit down and have that conversation with you guys. The coffee table discussion of, let's no longer belittle the guy who's working hard in the gym. Let's no longer belittle the guy who's, kicking ass on video games. Let's
right.
let's be a little bit more unifying and unify gaming and fitness and button it up
In a positive way too.
yeah, exactly. We're really not interested in the negative aspect of any of this. We're really not here to put anyone down. We're not here to I mean, I'm sure arguments and conversation and stuff like that will come up anyway, and John and I, between the two of us, we have thoughts. We have some pretty strong thoughts sometimes about
Yeah, we do.
what we see out of fitness, and how a lot of these Instagrams are a dime a dozen and whatever. But
Yeah.
At the end of it, we want to create a home for people to come and enjoy and have fun, and we really hope that you guys get a chance to check out the challenge card videos and push yourselves. Try something out, and if something is weird and not feeling right, then ask us about it. Ask us if you're interested in a lift. What's something that alternately you could be doing. Feel free to reach out and just become a part of the community. Become interested in weightlifting.
Yeah, don't be afraid to comment down below and share those experiences, share those those thoughts. I'm actually interested to know how you all began gaming or began your fitness journey, and how you stuck with it, or what's always kept you coming back to it. Because I mean, for us, for me and Flash, man, I mean, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I mean, we went to school to make video games, and it's just kind of always been there. It's always been there ever since I was a kid, and fitness kind of came down the road after that. We'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, definitely leave. Don't be afraid to leave your life experiences down below. If you like what we're doing, clicking on that like button goes a long way.
Yeah.
And if you want to continue to follow us, definitely
flex those fingers and hit the subscribe button.
I know you want to say it. I know you wanted to say it.
I sure did.
I was not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, definitely subscribe. Follow us on our journey as we continue to provide content. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to be hitting our stride soon, and we're excited. We're so excited to see how it evolves, how you as a community evolve, and we're excited to see what comes of it, and to see what all happens with it. So yeah, man, it's going to be a journey. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for taking some time to listen to two guys go on a rant and talk about their passion project. FGTV is a thing, and it will continue to be a thing. One of my favorite kind of little quotes that I keep in my back pocket is forever constant, and FGTV will be forever constant. We're getting into a stride of releasing content, so we do apologize for our current subscribers. We apologize for the cadence of these things, but we're getting a hang of it. Once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to flex those fingers, hit the subscribe button, stretch and squeeze, and
I hate you, man.
This is Flashbarricade signing off, and this is Dukestarfighter. We will catch
That's
you guys
right.
later.
We'll see you guys next time.